Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a brand new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Today the episode I'm going to be watching is Back to the Barn, which, as I mentioned in the previous video, I think is going to be going back to the barn where Pearl made that spaceship. And to the best of my recollection, I don't think we've been back there since then. So I guess that's why I made that assumption, since it's the only barn I could think of. But regardless, let's get right into it with Back to the Barn. Start the episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next. Let's do it. Begin with Back to the Barn. Go.
What is that? It's the cluster. I wasn't finished speaking. What we need is to build some sort of machine to take us to the center of the Earth.
Yes.
We'll need to withstand up to 300 pascals of pressure and temperatures of 9,800 degrees. We mustn't waste time. We need to start. Building one of these robots will be easy. Well, I can build one faster. That's what you
Oh
think.
God.
Yo, Steve.
Of course, she built in Springs, just for that. Okay. Oh, the model. Subjective.
All right, guys, you're just a pearl. That's right. I am a pearl.
Oh.
Wow. What you're saying, mate? I have to admit, it's remarkable that a pearl such as yourself could become such a knowledgeable technician.
Aw.
Why don't we get started? You're holding it upside down. Yes, of course. You know, those round appendages on your machine could be useful for something. They're called wheels. Looks like we're well on our way to stopping the cluster. You think you can stop me? Oh, we're doomed!
Oh God. Oh. Interesting choice, the fact that they didn't have the music there at the end, just crickets. Very interesting. I'll be right with you on a minute. There's one thing I'm wanting to check. Okay, so yeah, this episode, I don't know if it's like the end of a, what do they call them, Steven bombs or something like that. So the next episode, it might like lead straight into that too. But I mean, I feel like this is the episode that in a lot of ways it was building up to this episode, but at the same time, you know, it's still just a continuation of the story. But I like the fact that there was some good conflict here. There was some pretty friggin' sweet action, and there was some definite character progression here, character growth, and some things learned as well. So let's get right into my favorite parts about this episode, starting with the fact that it leads into the whole competition aspect of the episode, but when Peridot interrupts Pearl and basically says the exact same thing that she just said as far as what they needed to do about getting to the cluster. And while she's saying it, it's like, you know, Pearl looks really annoyed, and Amethyst looks over her just kind of like, and then she looks away real quick. That was just a great moment. I really enjoyed that. That was some great physical comedy that was portrayed here. My second favorite part is the fact that we learn more about pearls. Not specifically this Pearl, maybe what she once was, but we learn about pearls back on Homeworld. They're basically just servants, or as Peridot put it, they're made to stand there and look pretty and hold things. So apparently I assume all the pearls on Homeworld are very much unlike the Pearl that we have here on the show. They're just servants. And I assume if they're all kind of programmed or they're made to do a certain thing, then, they're all just sort of, not necessarily mindless, but they're just servants. They're nothing more. So I found that bit of knowledge really interesting. And also the fact that even though, Peridot's not the, shall we say, most important gem out there, I assume, that pearls would be beneath her on that social ladder. I just found that all incredibly interesting. And then my third favorite part of this episode was the competition. The competition of the robots and basically Pearl versus Peridot. It was a lot of fun, some really interesting moments, and it all boiled down to that fight at the end, which was really cool and really well done. There's not much else you can say about it. Just the competition was just awesome, and it was the best bit of this episode, in my opinion. Leading up to that final bit there at the end, where it's it can basically be boiled down to what Garnet says to Peridot, which is, "Welcome to Earth," which is, it's not going to go exactly the way you want it to all the time. It's like, if Peridot, by the rules, should have been the one over all of that, but in the end it didn't really matter because Pearl was, Pearl is Pearl. And she revealed that over all things she's actually overcome and has done a lot more than Peridot, if you think about it. And then finally, that final conversation between Pearl and Peridot, where Peridot that's the biggest bit of character growth, really, that we see that we've seen in a long time, really. There's definitely been some great character growth. Especially when it comes to characters like Connie, but when it comes to like Crystal, or when it comes to gems, or Crystal gems, I guess Peridot would be referred to as one at this point. Maybe not. But where she humbles herself and speaks to Pearl in a manner of respect. And that was really cool. I really enjoyed that aspect. It's just another part of this show where the writing is just phenomenal. There's not much else I can say about that. Oh, and another favorite part, the part where Pearl just like socks Peridot in the face. That was freaking awesome. That was freaking awesome, and honestly just totally unexpected. So yeah, a lot of really good parts about this episode. As has been the pattern with, a lot of the episodes, no annoyances that I can think of. As for tracks of the episode, I unfortunately didn't really pay attention to them, but I kind of feel like I'd have to go back and watch it, but I would think that probably the music playing during their fight was probably a great track, but again, overall, I wasn't paying attention, so I can't really identify any tracks in particular. So if there's any ones that you all want to mention, let me know what you think. Let me know. But again, I didn't notice. But moving on from there, my quote of the episode was a great line from Steven. After Peridot refers to her, Peridot refers to Pearl as just being a common Pearl. It's like, that Peridot is better than her. And Steven says, if pearls are like you say they are, then Pearl isn't common at all. And that, again, that just plays into this whole aspect of how different Pearl is, like how much she has grown. Beyond what we've even seen here on the show, just referring to the lore of the Steven universe. Yeah. But, Pearl as a character, even beyond of what we've actually seen of her, she has grown insanely as a character. And I love that they pointed out that way and in just a simple manner. Steven definitely says more than that in that line, but I felt like that was the most important part in my opinion. So yeah, I really like that. Moving on from there, my question going forward is, will this next episode be them going into the core, to the core of the Earth to find the cluster? Will that be the case? I'm definitely looking forward to seeing whether or not that's what they're going to do next. And actually, let's just make it that my theory that going forward, no, I'm going to make a last second change here because I'm going kind of off the cuff here as I usually do. But my theory is that with Peridot, this show is going to pull a Dragon Ball Z, shall we say, or a Dragon Ball, in which a former villain, or a former antagonist, shall we say, becomes a good guy. I feel like, especially with the character growth that was shown with Peridot here, that she was able to humble herself, she might become one of the good guys. She might become a crystal gem, shall we say. So that's my theory on this overall. As for the episode as a whole, I really liked it. Probably the highlight of it being the competition and the battle of the robots. But overall, as an episode, I really enjoyed it. And again, it has me looking forward to watching the next episode, which is going to be Too Far. And actually, based on that name, I wonder not even wonder, that kind of makes me think that maybe they will be going into the Earth. And maybe they go a little bit too far. I don't know. But before I close here, everyone, let me know some of your favorite thoughts or your favorite parts of this episode. You know, any annoyances you might have had, you know, tracks, this and that. And also let me know what you all think about what I had to say about this episode as well. Again, looking forward to checking out the next episode, and I'm not going to be able to record it right now, but I will be doing that soon, and hopefully get that video out to you all, these videos out to you all first, and that one out soon to you all as well. And I will see you all next time on the next episode of Discovering Steven Universe 4, Too Far. Until then, I will see you in the next video.